Hello again, everyone, and welcome back for Union University basketball. Yesterday, if you joined us, it was an interesting matchup between Union and Tuskegee. And today, it's not just an interconference, but it's an intercity matchup as the rivalry develops again between Union and Lane College. And Coach Dave Niven is here with us once again. And Dave, looking at how everything was when you resumed this series with Lane, there's some real intensity between these two schools. Tell us what, from the previous meetings you've had with them, particularly last year, what you took away from their program.
Well, they've got everything is new over there. They've got new coaches, new players. We didn't get to play them last year in the COVID year with no non-conference games. So it's been a couple years since we played, and I'm not sure there was anybody left on their roster from those games a couple years ago. So everything is new. Thankful that we'll have the chance to watch them before we play them. Get to see them live on Friday, but they've played one game we'll be able to watch against Memphis, and that'll give us some idea of who they are and what they're trying to do. But I'm thankful that we were able to get these games going. We've got a 4-year contract to play them at the beginning of every season for this year and the following 3 years. I think it's good for Jackson. I think it's good for Union and for Lane. We should be playing two Division II teams in the same city, even though we're not in the same league. We're in the same region. It'd be something to play them in the NCAA tournament someday. But right now, I'm thankful we get a chance to open up our season with them early in the year for the next 4 years.
You have to remind me at my age that we did go through COVID last year and didn't play a non-conference schedule. It was 2 years ago when they met last. Let's also look at this because of the fact that this is brand new and it's almost a complete turnover in roster, coaches, and everything like that. How difficult is that to you to just have a limited amount of video to be able to study to see what they do? Because in some respects, you did have a chance to see them against their other opponent yesterday, but in some respects, it's like going out against a team cold.
Sure, that's the nature of early season games. Some teams it really doesn't affect. Some teams don't spend a lot of time preparing for their opponent. They really focus on themselves. This week in practice, it gives us that opportunity to just really focus on ourselves. There's only so much we can give our guys about who we're playing and what they do. That is something that we do put an emphasis on once we get into the season and get that information. We will spend a good bit of time and at least half of a practice in the week leading up to playing an opponent of going through the things that they do and trying to take away what they do best. So it's not going to be as prevalent this weekend because we don't know what they do best at this point. So it is going to be much more of a focus on really trying to improve on some of our weaknesses and emphasize what we do best. And so hopefully we'll be in a position where we're playing well and can play well for an entire game. We feel like in our exhibition and in our scrimmages, we've not been able to put 40 minutes together. And so that's going to be an emphasis for us. Hopefully we can figure out how to do that this weekend.
Dave, something I've never asked you about, but particularly I think it would be interesting for the viewers is in practices going through situations such as you got a minute and a half left and you're down by 4, or you got 45 seconds left, you're up by 2, things like this. How do you go over things like that in practice, and how much time do you spend actually working through potential situations like that specific that you would face during a game?
Sure. I think that's hard because you never know what situation you're going to be faced with, and there's hundreds of them. but you always know you're going to be faced with having to execute your half-court offense. You're always going to be faced with having to stop players in transition. And so we spend the bulk of our time in practice doing the things that happen most in games. And that's, working on closeouts, working on blockouts, working on setting screens, a lot of shooting, things like that, because we know those things are going to take place every single game. But we can't neglect the late game situations. And so what we will typically do is at least once a week, and we did this yesterday in practice, we play a game called Down 8 with 3 to go. And we just put one of our teams in a situation of they've got the ball, they're down 8 with 3 minutes left. And when you play that out, you get all kinds of different situations. So yesterday, our first group was down 8. They missed on their first possession, and it got down 10 with 2 to go, and ended up coming back and hitting a shot at the buzzer to win. And so put us in situations where we had to learn how to execute late clock plays, where we had to know how to get a stop, how to foul, put the right guy on the free throw line. Hopefully they miss free throws in that situation. You need some luck for sure. But that's typically how we teach our guys is not so much scripted as to this is the exact situation you're going to be in, but try to throughout the season, either sometimes they get to be up 8 with 3 to go and they learn how to play with a lead and how that's different than when you're down. But that usually puts us in throughout the season. That usually puts us in enough situations where you get to cover just about everything in your practices.
It should be an interesting situation this afternoon, Union against Lane. And as you mentioned, bringing back this rivalry that went away for a while and now having the opportunity with the new contract to be able to continue to play our crosstown brothers in this contest this afternoon in the Crossover Classic. So wish you all a tremendous amount of luck today. And as we continue down through the season, because the conference race is not that far away.
Thank you, Steve. We appreciate it.
And let's go now to the court for today's starting lineups.
I had to get my audio up there for a second. We'll give you those starting lineups in just a moment. I just wanted to mention we did that interview with Dave earlier before the game, and one of the things that he just was really impressed with the team yesterday in the opening game against Tuskegee is the team got out to an early advantage and then played defense. And whereas it's like any team, Tuskegee made a run here and there, but Union had a lead of usually between 19 and 24 points for most of the second half, and the Bulldogs end up winning it 68-49 over Tuskegee yesterday. Today, a different story with Lane College coming over across town, and this is, as we mentioned, it's a rivalry that for many, many years existed, but when they both were in different avenues of college basketball. Lane was the first to go to Division II NCAA, and Union was still NAI, and so it's very hard to get a schedule for the two of them to meet. But now they are, as Dave just told you, in a 4-year contract to guarantee that these two teams will meet virtually every year, and I hope it goes beyond that 4-year contract. I think it is great for the community and certainly for the two presidents, Dub Oliver and Logan Hampton, who both are great friends of mine, and how much they are so vibrantly a part of the community in what they bring to the table as college presidents. Well, now it's time for us to go to our starting lineups for today's game. We're going to be tipping off right around 4:25 this afternoon. So first, let's give you the starters for Lane College, and we'll tell you a little bit about them. They will be starting today, and as I mentioned, because of the fracas that happened yesterday, there are some players they will be without today. We don't know specifically which ones at this stage. They'll be starting Teron Davis. He's a 6-foot senior from Memphis, and then Kelvin Allen had an excellent day yesterday in the overtime loss to Shorter, 93-89. He's a junior, goes 6'3", and he's from Olive Branch, Mississippi. Very, very fast young man. The guy who just dominated the scoring yesterday, and he had 26 points, Maximilian Bell, and he is from Venezuela. He's a 6'6" junior. Anthony Mason is also on the starting lineup for this team. 6'10". He's going to be the one that gives Union problems underneath. 6'10" junior from Decatur, Alabama. And then Dominique Marion, he is from Memphis as well, a 6'6" senior. So they bring a lot of height to the floor that could be a challenge for the Bulldogs. Now let's look at your starters for Union. J.C. Hawkins, the 6'6", 205-pound graduate student, he had, because last year did not count as a year of eligibility for any NCAA team, J.C. opted to come back and go to graduate school at Union and play another year. And so he's doing a terrific job at the point guard in the 2 games that we've seen him so far, 1 an exhibition. J.C., as we say, is from Independence, Kentucky. Tyree Boykin, who Dave just mentioned, and he'll be talking a little bit more about him later on in the contest today. Tyree's a 6-foot senior from Clarksville, Tennessee. And then Jeremiah Littlepage. I just had the opportunity to meet his mom about 5 minutes ago. She came up here, and she is a delightful lady. And we just had exchanged some absolutely upbeat things about her son Jeremiah. Jeremiah is from Birmingham, Alabama. 6'7", sophomore, and he had an excellent game both offensively and defensively yesterday for the Bulldogs. Ty Parks, and you're talking about a guy who's going to go after every dead ball that's on the floor. He is 6'4", 175 pounds. Not the big guy, but he's got some height, and he's a senior from Pocahontas, Tennessee. And then I'll give you the phonetic spelling of this young man's name. Yes, it is Bo. It is Gidgel. What happens is that you look at the end and then forget about it. It's silent. So it is Bo Gidgel, and he is a junior from Los Angeles, California, transfer from Prairie View A&M, and he goes 6'8" and comes in weighing 235. And Bo started out like a house of fire yesterday against Tuskegee with a 3-pointer early, and he was in double digits during yesterday's game. So a tremendous performer he is, and I think you'll be seeing, though, a lot more of the 10 players that Dave Niven says could be starting for this team. So he's got a lot of depth, and he'll be coming off the bench with a number of them as he did yesterday. The biggest thing that they're going to deal with Lane. Lane is a very physical team. It was a lot of intensity in their game. They attacked the basket very, very hard. And they have no fear of going in traffic, and particularly going in down the lane. So that is going to be a challenge for the Bulldogs, because this is going to be a much more physical opponent than they saw in the exhibition last Saturday against Bethel, and as they saw yesterday against Tuskegee when they won 68-49. I'm trying to get an update, and they should be close to the end of their contest. And if you'll give me just a second here, I'm going to go through, as we are on live television, I am going to go through and see if I can get a final on the Union Lady Bulldogs game down in Florida. Yesterday, they won 84-48 against Florida Tech. But today they were struggling a lot in the first half, and they were down by 10 at one point. And Lady Bulldogs have gone down to defeat against Tampa, 67-77. And that was a team that you figured was going to give Union some problems, because a few years back here on this floor, they had a very difficult time and were eliminated in the first round of the NCAA South tournament 6 years ago when they took on Tampa in the first round, and they have a deceptively strong team. And so Union could not overcome falling behind in the second quarter. And so the Lady Bulldogs, their first defeat of the season, but they will be back home next Saturday afternoon. They've got pretty much the rest of the week off. They'll be traveling tonight to get back here to Jackson. And then they will be next Saturday afternoon at 1 o'clock. We'll be here with you live as Union will be playing Central Missouri. And if you don't think they are tough, they indeed are. There's some tremendous Midwestern NCAA Division II schools, and so that should be a dandy right here. Union against Central Missouri, and that will be at 1 o'clock. It's an unusual start time, so our air time will be 12:45. next Saturday afternoon. So we hope you'll be with us for that. And so that'll be the Lady Bulldogs. And then after this game today, and looking at what the schedule looks like for the Bulldogs, after they get through with this one against Lane College this afternoon, we will be back here Tuesday night as they take on Williams Baptist. And that is a former NAIA foe. They used to be in the Trans-South Conference. And wherever possible, Dave Niven has tried to bring them back in for a non-conference tune-up game. And so that is where we will see the Bulldogs next. And that's Tuesday night at 7 o'clock. Our airtime will be 6:45. It'll be a single game. So if you want to come out and see what this Bulldog team is like, if you can't get out here this afternoon in person for it, be here on Tuesday night. If you can't do that, join us on the Union Digital Network or on eplustv6.com. We'll be here at 6:45 for airtime and 7 o'clock as Union takes on Williams Baptist on Tuesday night. So we got men's basketball on Tuesday, and on Saturday afternoon, an early start time of 1 o'clock, 12:45 airtime. It'll be Union against Central Missouri in a women's game next Saturday. And then we've got some home action that'll be coming up on Thanksgiving week. But it's amazing to think of that we're only about 12 days away from Thanksgiving. And once you get past that, once these two schools, once these two teams, the women's and the men's team, once they get back from Thanksgiving, then for real, the conference race begins, the Gulf South Conference race, and the first game will be what should be a Lollapalooza, as they have said in many instances, because they will be taking on Lee University, and both of them have had intense battles with Lee. And that will be on Thursday night, December 2nd. That'll be the first Trans-South Conference game of the year, doubleheader, and we'll have them both right here on ePlus TV6 as we will be having all of the home games down the stretch this year. But it's a very early season, and we're looking forward to a lot of great and exciting action. And certainly for those of you who joined us last night on the digital network, if you couldn't get out here, and we had a great turnout for the final regular season game of senior night for the Union Lady Bulldogs volleyball team as they took on Shorter, and they were looking for a bit of revenge, and they indeed got it. They won it in straight sets. The first set was just absolutely, you wanted to take the pulse of everybody in here. You had 6 set points, and finally Union won it 30-28. That was a huge emotional lift, and then the other 2 sets were extraordinarily exciting but did not go to overtime. But the Lady Bulldogs won in straight sets for their 20th victory of the season, and that sews up the number 3 seed in next weekend's Gulf South Conference tournament that'll be played at the home of number 1 seed West Florida in Pensacola, a team that is 30-1 on the season. They're almost invincible. But the Lady Bulldogs played tremendously when they were under pressure last night and did not let a rally twice in sets 2 and 3, and that overtime that we had in set number 1, it did not bother them at all, and they managed to come home with the victory, and it was huge. And there you see our up front folks right here. Next to me is our director and executive producer, Paul Schultze, and next to him is our associate director, Summer Sturgis. And Summer directed yesterday's basketball telecast as well as last night's volleyball game, and so that's your crew. We got a couple of outstanding camera operators that are going to be working for us today. So we thank them one and all. You don't always get to see them on the air, but we thank them one and all for everything that they are doing for us. I tell you what, let's take a quick break right here. We're about a little less than 6 minutes away from the start of tonight's game, and when we come back, we'll have the wrap-up as we lead up to Union against Lane College right here on ePlus TV 6.
Be creative, innovative, passionate. Be excellent, inspiring, driven. Be faithful, disciplined, prepared. At Union University, you will thrive in a Christ-centered community and be equipped for success in your life and career. Begin your journey today. At Union University, be transformed.
53 national championships. More than 600 annual graduates. Thousands of lives changed. The Gulf South Conference.
Are you looking for a Christian college or are starting the college search process? I want to take a second to tell you about my school, Union University in Jackson, Tennessee. Union is a private 4-year university known for its rigorous academics, Christ-centered community, and the success of its graduates. My favorite part about Union is the faculty. The professors here are so intentional about helping students grow not only academically, but also spiritually. You should check out Union for yourself. Come for a visit. I know you'll love it. At Union University, you'll be transformed.
Be an employee equipped for advancement. Be a role model to your kids, your coworkers, your friends. Be a dreamer, an example, a finisher. Be a success story and a college graduate with an associate or bachelor's degree for adult students from Union University. At Union University, be transformed.
Steve Beverly back with you at the place that is known as the Fred DeLay Gymnasium, David Blackstock Court in Jackson, Tennessee. And they just handed me the stats from the Lady Bulldogs game down in Winter Haven, Florida, as they were taking on Tampa this afternoon after they had a big victory over Florida Tech yesterday, 84-48. Lady Bulldogs going down 77-67. And just looking down the stats, they never could get off the ground in three-point shooting. It was 5 of 22 for 23%, and that was a tough when they're not hitting the threes, and particularly if they get held down to 5, that meant a tremendous defensive effort on the part of Tampa, or either Lady Bulldogs just could not connect today. Jalencia Williams was 10 for 19 from the floor and ended up with 24 points, and Shanique Lucas 7 of 9 for 16, and then Emily Beard contributed 11. Where I think maybe the defense really cracked down was on Ashton Baker, who has had 2 just brilliant games for Union last week in the exhibition against UT Southern, as well as yesterday against Florida Tech. Ashton was held to 8 points, 3 of 16 from the floor, and anybody who knows her talent, that's just so uncharacteristic for her, and she was 0 for 7 in three-pointers. So obviously, it was a strong defensive effort on the part of Tampa to try to shut down Ashton Baker, because if she had been able to play her usual game, you got to believe this was going to be a lot closer. But it was a double-double for Jalencia Williams with 24 points and 13 rebounds on the day, and so she did a terrific job with that. Shanique Lucas added 6 rebounds, but that's the way it is today. Lady Bulldogs dropping their first game of the season. It's their first loss out of 2. But they'll hit back into the home front next weekend, and it should be very, very good to get a chance to see them at home next Saturday here at 1 o'clock. Well, let's go back down to the floor and take a look at all of these guys getting ready for Union against Lane College, and we've already given you the starting lineups. And this is really, I think, as you look across the board, a great opportunity for these teams to use this as a measuring stick as to what they have this early and what they hope to be able to achieve as this season goes along. And we're about 45 seconds away from the start and the introduction of the players, and so we are looking forward to this. Of course, Lane College is coached by Andre Turner, and his assistant is Barry Wellington. Of course, Dave Niven in his 13th season at the helm of the Bulldogs, and his assistant coach, Easton Bozzoli, and of course, he's got some graduate assistants. He's got Christian Goodwin, and So this is a team that I, in his 13 years, I don't know that I've seen Dave is excited about a team and its potential. And they, in the preseason poll of coaches in the conference, they were picked to finish 5th. But I think he really believes that they have the ability to do even more. And so we're about to have the introduction of the players coming onto the floor. As we mentioned, Lane dropped its opener yesterday to Shorter, 93-89 in overtime. And here you have Teron Davis. He's from Memphis. And then there's Chancellor Wright. He's a 6'5 freshman from Atlanta. There's Maximilian Bell, who was a big gun scoring for them yesterday. Keelan Haywood, he is a freshman from Memphis. And Justin Silver from Cleveland, Ohio. As we mentioned, they're going without 3 of their players after the fracas that we had yesterday on the floor, and that's just standard procedure on that. So it's up to some of these guys off the bench to make a difference. Now here come the Bulldogs. J.C. Hawkins from Independence, Kentucky. And here you go, Tyree Boykin. Dave talked about him in his pregame interview with us about how he has a tremendous shooting ability. Here is big Jeremiah Littlepage, the 6'7 sophomore from Birmingham. Hunter Vick is back in the starting lineup today. Hunter's sister Jordan had a great game last night with 29 assists for the Lady Bulldogs. And then Bo Gidgel, not Bo Diddley, but Bo Gidgel. And but I wanted to mention about Jordan Vick because she was all over the place with assists last night, and we had a wonderful opportunity to visit with her during our telecast of the final regular season volleyball game last night. Well, we're finally set to go after the first game ran a bit long. There you go, the Union Pep Band. They'll be adding a lot of energy to the contest today. And again, in a matchup between these two teams that don't usually see each other but once a season, it's really important to get off to a strong early start and then just challenge your opponent to try to make a rally. That's exactly what happened in the first half yesterday with Union against Tuskegee, and the Golden Tigers were just never really in it. And Union with strong early shooting, but Dave talks about that if you start out with hot shooting early, then that means your defense has to step up then and make stops. Lane gets the tip. They're going to have a height advantage at several positions today, but also, as we mentioned, they're going to be going without some of their regulars that were involved in the confrontation on the floor yesterday. And the block. Bell went up for one, and he just lost control of it. And the left-hand, right-hand layup and the foul. And the foul is charged to Haywood, and so it's an opportunity for a three-point play. And Gidgel, who got him off to a start yesterday, is doing the same thing. He is absolutely fearless underneath. This big guy from Los Angeles, California, and you had to know that coming to Jackson, Tennessee, a tremendous culture shock. A 3-0 lead right off the top, and the Bulldogs, just as they did against Tuskegee, employing a half-court trap with 3 guys up front. Trying to, and there you go from the corner for the 3, and connecting. That's Haywood. And trying the answer shot. Yes, connecting J.C. Hawkins. So we are battling the bombs right now. Union up 6-3. It has to be a tremendous factor to have somebody like J.C. Hawkins, who is a graduate student but still has eligibility, to be out there with his experience, because even if he's not having a great shooting night, a high rebound for Hunter Vick, he's not having a great shooting night. He's going to be doing a lot to help in other areas of the game. Driving inside the floater off the back of the iron. And the rebound comes off to Haywood. This Lane team is very fast, lightning quick, and the foul. And that's going to be charged to Tyree Boykin. This Lane team will, as I just mentioned, and that's what they were attempting to do there, they will attack the basket relentlessly. And to toss it in, Maximilian Bell. And they're going to work the perimeter. They love to push the ball up the floor, and Andre Turner really teaches that. And losing control of it, down to 8 on the shot clock. They're going to have to hurry. Working one-on-one against Gidgel. And that one, he was just absolutely robbed. Davis had the angle, but it just would not fall. Bulldogs again trying to be very patient with it, going for the open player. They spread them out again. Vick working against 2 defenders from the corner. The 3 is not there. And here comes Lane on the attack with Silver. Boy, he had some good moments against, and I thought Silver was going to help them get over the hump against Shorter yesterday. They had a late lead, but they frittered it away. The long bomb is not there, and the rebound again to Hunter Vick. Union has a lot of rotation in its offense. You'll see a lot of movement in it, not a lot of standstill. The cutter is Hawkins, and then they go back for Gidgel, and he doesn't get the Plinko drop, and the rebound comes off to Wright. So they slow things down once again. After that early flurry, we have quickly gone through the first 3 minutes of this first half. Down to 10 on the shot clock. This is not characteristic for Lane to be playing this kind of a pattern offense. And the block, nicely done by Littlepage, so 2 seconds remaining in the possession for Lane. So somebody's got to get open in a hurry. Union has to guard against a backdoor play. To toss it in is Max Bell. And it hit the bottom of the goal, and so it is Union ball. That's the first turnover of the game. Hawkins will set it up. He's calm at all times on the floor. There you go underneath, and Vick could have taken that, but instead he saw an open Hawkins, and there goes Gidgel, and he draws the foul. What Gidgel brings to the table is what you saw there. He will go up for second and third opportunities at a basket, and many times he will draw a foul. So he goes at the line for 2. The last time that these 2 teams met was 2 years ago, and that was one that was on the side of the Bulldogs, 98-70 after they were on top 40-21 at halftime, and that was a game in which Tyree Boykin just burned Lane for 29 points, and Ty Parks had 21. And so it's a completely different Lane team from what they saw 2 years ago. Union with an 8-3 lead and staying with the half-court trap. And the object of that is to keep Lane from having as much time to set up its offense once they get the ball across midcourt. Down to 10 on the shot clock. Give and go, but finally recovering it underneath. High bank attempt. It wasn't there, but drawing the foul is Silver, so he goes to the line for 2. And we will have a media timeout momentarily, and we'll come back for the free throws, although the official has not directed that yet. Yep, there they go. They got the buzzer, and so they will go to the respective. It's a rough time for a free throw guy because you actually end up icing him with this. Well, one of the things that we talked about with Dave Niven about this team was the fact that it has had in the first 2 games some strong first-half shooting, but he also says it's significantly important for that to bring on good defense.
For many games, and we shot it really well in the first half, so I think it just gave us a chance to emphasize the importance of getting stops and consistently getting stops. We have a goal of getting 6 turkeys in a game. A turkey for us is 3 stops in a row. And so, just the ability to be consistent in your defense is going to help you maintain leads and even extend leads when you're not shooting the ball well. And so I think that was a good learning experience for us to be able to give our players there.
It's the first time I think I've ever heard you use a bowling term for 3 stops in a row that you got a turkey. That's
where it came from.
I didn't ask Dave if he actually teaches bowling. It is part of the physical education curriculum at Union University, but I didn't ask Dave if he has taught bowling. But I bet he could do it quite well if he's going to incorporate that term into basketball, a turkey. So 3 stops in a row is a turkey. That's the way it has to work. So nonetheless, Bulldogs on top 8-3 with 15:53 remaining, and coming back up to shoot the free throws, it's going to be Silver. Justin Silver is a freshman from Cleveland, Ohio. And he connects to make it an 8-4 game. We've got a good contingent of Lane students who have made the journey from across town to see the Dragons. He nails the 2 free throws to make it an 8-5 contest. And Lane's going to employ some all-court pressure. They did some of that. They didn't do it on every possession, but they did some of that against Shorter yesterday. Bulldogs get it across in about 8 seconds. Open for the 3. And just off the iron, but nice rebound. Ty Parks with that rebound, but Union's going to cough it up. And they're going to bring him over to the side. Logan is going to toss it in. Joseph Logan from Huntsville, Alabama. He's a junior. Chance of defense from the Bulldog bench. And here's Bell. He can do about anything he wants to with the ball, but it's short. And stepping on the line was Littlepage, so it'll go back to Lane with a new 20-second clock. It used to be in the days of the old 35-second clock that you'd start it right back with another 35 seconds, but they did this in part to speed up the game once they cut the men's time of possession to 30 seconds, and they decided that if you had an exchange such as that and the ball goes out of bounds, it's going to be 20 seconds on the inbound play. So let's see how Coach Turner plays this one. Bell again, he tries over his defender and almost narrowed it home against Vick. They missed but the third opportunity goes through. Logan makes it an 8-7 game. And from the corner, thought about the 3, but Ty decided to back off of it. Now going from the other corner. Yes, sir. Justin DeBuck with his first 3 of the game as he's now in the lineup for Union, and it's an 11-7 game. Union going to the long bomb here, 2 out of 6 for 33%. Got a whistle away from the ball. Got an offensive foul. Charged that one to Logan, his first. And checking in for Union is Dusan Dvorak. Dave will not hesitate to change this lineup in and out, trying to keep some fresh feet out there on the floor. And they're going to go into the inside with Vic, and he's double-teamed. I don't think Djordjevic was expecting that, but he comes through with the hook. So the young man from Serbia puts Union back up on top by 6, matching its largest lead of the game. And again, down to 13 on the shot clock. Union has neutralized some of Lane's fast break transition and also its intensity going to the basket, and he stepped on the line. You could almost tell that he was not sure of his presence on the floor, and Silver coughs it up. And for Lane, that is turnover number 2. Bulldogs with the early edge in rebounding, 6-5. And here's a steal. And this one is not going to go all the way, but it was a nice way to spirit it away by Logan. They have 3 different starters on this team than opened the game yesterday. That one's off to the right. They scramble for it and give it to Union. Parks was after it, but it was last touched by a Lane player. And they're not giving as much full court pressure this time. Good screen by Union. And the stop and pop. And it's off the back of the iron. Bulldogs with the offensive board, and it's too high. But Parks is aggressively going after the offensive rebounds, and the 3 is there for DeBuck, his second one. And Union has opened up a 3-possession lead at 16-7. Chance again of defense from the Bulldog faithful. And again, Bell has not been able to get a lot of his drives to the basket as he did yesterday. That's a 2. The fall away was there for Davis, and Tehran gets his first basket of the day. Union quickly down the floor. And to the inside, the dish off. Good fake and the foul. Djordjevic will go to the line when we come back. 11 minutes, 49 seconds remaining. Union on top of Lane, 16-9. And we'll be back after a special word of interest for you at home.
Looking for a Christian college or starting the college search process? I want to take a second to tell you about my school, Union University in Jackson, Tennessee. Union is a private 4-year university known for its rigorous academics, Christ-centered community, and the success of its graduates. My favorite part about Union is the faculty. The professors here are so intentional about helping students grow not only academically, but also spiritually. You should check out Union for yourself. Come for a visit. I know you'll love it. At Union University, you'll be transformed.
There's the big red and white cheer from the Union cheerleaders. They work extraordinarily hard to add to the pageantry of all of these games, and they make many of the road trips. And so they deserve a lot of credit for what they do. And there you go, Land of 1,000 Dances. They go through some. It just seems as though the 60s and 70s developed some of the great, long-lasting, and timeless pep band songs anywhere. I just wish this band would play the horse. There you go, these 3 young ladies, and Mom, send them some money. They need it. I mean, they're desperate. Here we are, they're getting close to Thanksgiving break, and they're about out of money, and they want to have some just so they can make it until they get home to get your cooking. So, Mom, send them some money this week. This is really important. I begged last week on their behalf, and I don't think it did any good. But we won't give up. This is Davis. And Lane has been more in a slowdown type offense here in this first half, and it's been a much lower scoring game than what Union had yesterday. They tried to go up for an alley-oop, and it did not work. Pass was too high. Going for the bomb. Yo! Yes! Round and round and round she goes, and where she stops, nobody knows. Ted Mack, who almost nobody who is younger than me remembers, would have been very proud of that one, as Union is up by 10. And they go on the inside, and they're going to charge a foul to Ty Parks. That's his first. One thing that Union did yesterday in the game is they got into, they put Tuskegee in the bonus very, very quickly. And so today it's been more even. Each team has 3 fouls, and so that's not a shooting foul. As we are approaching the halfway mark of this first 20 minutes of action. Again, we started about 28 minutes late because the previous game between Shorter and Tuskegee ran a bit long. Fall away 3 is not there just as the buzzer sounds, and so here you go. Bulldogs trying to extend the lead. And a foul. Nope, they call traveling. Change of the pivot foot. And you got a frustration over there on the other side from Boykin. So Union would turn over number 3 in the contest. Again, very slow tempo for this Lane team because yesterday they were pounding it all over the floor against Shorter. And going up against 2 defenders, that's just almost impossible. And you're going to have a jump ball here. And Union will get alternate possession. Big battle, and that was a strong, strong effort on the part of the Bulldogs. So Union forces turnover number 3 on Lane. And they have to back away from that all-court pressure very, very quickly. Union from outside the arc, 4 out of 8 for 50%. Lane only 20%, 1 out of 5. Open underneath. They just simply went to sleep and left Gidgel wide open. And Bo now has 7 to lead the entire game. 21-9 Union lead. Not quite the crowd that we had yesterday. And, boy, last night this place was really humming. That one was an air ball, and the rebound coming off to Boykin. Last night this place was absolutely humming. And the floater by Boykin right in the middle of the lane with 3 defenders that basically stared at him. And so Union up by 14. That was as intense of a crowd as I have ever heard during a volleyball game last night. And the Lady Bulldogs on their senior night, and they have not been that successful on senior night for a while, and that was a different animal last night. They were really giving a lot of enthusiasm. Well, we got a media timeout, so as we do, let's pause for the cause.
Be an employee equipped for advancement. Be a role model to your kids, your coworkers, your friends. Be a dreamer, an example, a finisher. Be a success story and a college graduate with an associate or bachelor's degree for adult students from Union University. At Union University, be transformed.
Let's update your statistics, brought to you by Worthy Road Studios for the finest in video production for sports and special events all across West Tennessee. It is Worthy Road Studios, symbol of excellence in broadcasting. For Union, the leader is Bo Gidgel with 7. No, let me take that back. Justin DeBuck has had 3 3-pointers. He's got 9 to lead, and Gidgel with 7. And on the other side of the ledger, it is Justin Silver with 4 to lead Lane. He has 4 of the 9 points that the Dragons have. And Union on top 23-9 as we're under 9 minutes, and Lane bringing it back up the floor. And let's see how Coach Turner plays it after the timeout. That one, again, they have had a couple of air balls from long distance in the last 3 possessions. So yet another turnover, and Union will play it. And the half-court trap pressure just has not had any impact on Union whatsoever. Bulldogs down the floor in 6 seconds, so it hasn't disrupted the offense at all. There you go, a 30-footer. When Boykin is hot, he's almost uncontainable. It's 26-9. Bulldogs dominating it so far here in the first half. Lane working the perimeter because they've had a difficult time going to the inside. There's Davis. The floater does not fall. They have just had almost no luck whatsoever. They have been colder than a Frigidaire. Going for the bomb again. Yes! It is Boykin. Union by 20 at 29-9. And boy, that's got the Bulldog fans up off of their feet. And Union right now 6 out of 10 from three-point land, 60%. And that's matching what they have done in the first half of both of their games so far this season. Fall-away jumper is again not there. But the offensive rebound with Logan, and somebody went to the deck with 7 minutes, 28 seconds to go. It was Gidgel, and I think we got a foul. Was it after the – we're going to find out if it was after the shot. And the officials having a discussion. Well, let's see what it is. They're going to come over and talk to the third official about this. That's something I haven't seen before, when he waved off another official and said, get on out of the way. I haven't seen that happen before. Obviously, there was something that occurred after the shot that they're having to sort out what happened and what's going to be the ultimate outcome of it. They're pointing over at the Lane bench right now, so I again do not know what this is that is causing the dilemma right here. We're glad to have you aboard right here on E-Plus TV6 and eplustv6.com, and those of you who are watching on the Union Digital Network at uuathletics.com. Well, again, the action has been stopped, and we're trying to find out what the issue is with the officials. And from our vantage point, I'm not sure we're going to find that out. Well, regardless, they have finally decided to restart action with Union on top 29-11. Bulldogs have just thoroughly dominated in this first 12 and a half minutes. Yeah, apparently there was a technical foul after the shot, and so at the line is Boykin. And connects. And it is a one-shot technical instead of a two, so Union will play it. Now, that's odd. I have to be candid with you. Most technical fouls are 2 shots, but I don't know why that wasn't. And I guess it doesn't matter that I don't know why it wasn't, because we're starting the game again. Double teaming over in the corner. That could leave somebody open, and it did, and the foul. And going right in, J.C. Clossy, and apparently they said that it was an offensive foul, so it goes back to Lane. Union with its 5th turnover. Slow tempo again for Lane. Trying to see if they can force Union into some defensive mistakes, but so far that has not been the case. Lane shooting only 21%, 4 out of 19 from the floor. And the three is there. That's the second three of the game. And Davis, that's his first. Going in traffic, they were in the middle of a triangle. Fallaway is not there. That was just not a good look on the part of Gidgel. Davis thought about taking it all the way in and does before he dishes off. And that one's short. Lane scram. That's why I talk about that lightning fast speed they have. And once again, Davis has found a position that he likes. And that's got his teammates off the floor, and they have closed what was a 20-point lead down to 13 at 30-17. This is where Dave Niven says you can't put on the brakes just because you have a double-digit lead. In between the defenders, floater was just too hard. He released it too quickly. DeBuck just didn't have control on that one, and that is going to be charged against Union. And that is going to be on DeBuck, and that is his first personal. Union has committed 4 so far, Lane with 3. So they haven't gone to the bonus, but this will be an active shooting foul. So at the line is Davis. He's the leader for Lane with 8 points, and if he hits these 2, he could be the leader in the game. He's got to have some more help. And gets the friendly roll. Checking in for Union, Hunter Vick and J.C. Hawkins. Davis again, the 6-footer from Memphis. Excellent from the free throw line he is, and so they have made a rally. Union was up 29-9, and so it's a 10-1 run on the part of the Dragons. Yeah, there you go. Give and go. Nobody saw Gidgel coming down the middle. So Bo, he electrifies everybody, and he's got 9. Again, you got a big battle going on, circulating around the middle of the paint, and the rebound comes off this time into Simmons, who's into the game. Mikhail Simmons, who's from Murphy, Texas. That one bounds off, and it's going to be an over-the-back foul on Gidgel, and I think he knew it. So Bo commits his first. It is the 6th team foul on Union, and getting set to check back in is Ty Parks. Gidgel will come out. I think he just needs a break here because he's been going at it full speed for the first 15 minutes of this contest, as we are getting under the 5-minute mark in just a moment. Davis, who's been an excellent quarterback on this team, and he's the game leader in scoring with 10. He's forced to back up again with 8 on the shot clock. The turnaround. Nice turnaround jumper. Haywood connects to give him 5, and they've again sliced the lead down to 11. Open for the 3. Yes! Ty Parks with his first one from long distance in the game. Union 7 out of 13 from three-pointers. A 54% mark, and they have just been outstanding from long distance in the first half in particular in all of their games. Here's a steal. This is not going to be a down the stretch because I don't think he could make it through those defenders. Here's the 3. Yes! You can see that extra push coming from Hunter Vick, and that's his first three-pointer, and Union now back up to a 17-point lead, and the Bulldogs 57% from behind the arc. The same percentage from the field. And that has to be deflating to Lane after they made that rally to close this down to 11, and then all of a sudden it's back up to 17. This is Bell, who has been shut down pretty well in this one after having a great day yesterday. And tipped out by Lane. Attempting to get it was Logan, but it goes out of bounds, and so the Bulldogs will have it when we come back. One of the things we also talked to Dave Niven about was about the transition game and how it is so helpful to really have everything develop for the Bulldogs in the process. Here's what he told us.
When we were able to get stops and get a defensive rebound, that enabled us to start the break and really play fast. That was when we were at our best. That was when we got some of our best looks. We were able to get to the rim. We were able to create open threes for our teammates. And so really just an emphasis on back to the defensive side of things. That's going to help our offense. Really felt like that was when we were playing at our best.
And the young man in the blue shirt and the khakis there that you see down at the left-hand end, so many people have called him Mini Niven over the years, but since last season, Dave Niven's son has shot up about, I think, 6 inches. He's going to be a tall one like his dad, but boy, the growth spurt that he's had just in the last year has been unbelievable. And you can see he's beginning to mature in the face, but he has almost from the get-go, once he was old enough to be on the bench, he has been there for many, many years. Would not surprise me if there is coaching in his future because he's got a great mentor with his dad. And, of course, Dave has a terrific ball club this year that I think is going to be a true contender in the Gulf South Conference. The tough part that you have in the GSC, as Lane also knows in the SIAC, the tough part is winning on the road because some of these road trips are absolutely grueling. Going down to Pensacola, you go across into Georgia to Carrollton and down to Valdosta. Valdosta's 11 hours away. It can be extremely tough. Turnaround by Simmons, and he just released it a little bit too quick as we get to the 3-minute mark. And that's a key thing that I know, and that's going to be a foul. And if you wondered why it wasn't traveling, it's because the official was going to call that foul before he took a third step to the basket. Typically, if you take about 2, they're not going to call it because it comes off the dribble, but if he took a third step before being fouled, it would probably not be very successful. See my good friend Gary Grisham, who is here at the game this afternoon, as well as Gary Williams, who is one of the all-time most faithful Bulldog fans. He almost would have to have a flood in his house to be able to not be here for Union, as both those free throws go through for Silver. He's got 6. 15-point Union lead. And Union works the perimeter, but they're trying to get Parks open. And there you go. Quickie, the 3. Iron unkind for Simmons. And trying to scramble to get that one away was Hunter Vick. So Lane will play it in the corner. Lane is in the bonus now, but the Dragons have only committed 3 fouls in this first half. And trying to, if they have any way of trying to slice this thing down to a single-digit lead when these teams go to the locker room. High arcing 3 is not there, and the rebound comes off to Parks. Bulldogs quickly down that floor. Oh! I got to tell you, JC, that one went into the band. They can't shoot over there, JC. There she is. It was right into the middle there and caught her. She at least caught it, I can tell you that. But JC was just, he had too much energy. I think he may have been over at Gold's Gym this morning. Lane goes to the inside, and the fall away is blocked. They get it back. They've got 6 on the shot clock, and I'm not sure they're aware of it. It's being counted down. And I thought if that one went through, it would be a miracle. Silver just didn't have enough time left, and a clock violation is called. And in case you wonder, and I get this from fans from time to time over the years, it is not whether the ball is shot within 35 seconds. It is whether the ball hits the glass or the rim within 35 seconds, and it did neither. There's your give and go right down the heart to DeBuck, and he's Union's leader with 11. And trying to go through traffic and drawing the foul is, I think that's Stubblefield. Sometimes it's a little tough to read those numerals, but it indeed is DJ Stubblefield. He is from Kansas. He's a 6-foot freshman guard. they've got a lot of hope for him. He has an opportunity for two. Boy, this place has gotten quiet. This is just the exact opposite of what we saw. In and out, misses the 1-and-1 opportunity. This place is the exact opposite of what it was last night when we just had a huge throng in here, absolutely all over it during that volleyball game. And throwing it away after getting that offensive rebound very high was Ty Parks. So Lane will play it, 7th turnover for the Bulldogs. What they'd like to do, and they potentially could have 2 more possessions in this half, but they'd like to get a quickie if they could here, and then have an opportunity to maybe have 1 more to cut it down to perhaps 12 points. The fall away, that one was off the mark, and you knew it. And the foul, and that's going to be on Simmons, so McHale is charged with his first. That's the 8th team foul, so it's going to be a 1-and-1 again. And we got just under 47 seconds remaining. So going to the line is Silver. So far today, he's a perfect 4 for 4. Nobody is, you can't say that the crowd is going to be bothering Silver at all because they are just, this. You'd think we were in a library here during part of this game. And he connects. He's got a dead shot from the line. He's had a tough time during the course of the game from the floor. He's 1 out of 5, but I watched him yesterday, and he has a terrific free throw shot. And, okay, announcer's jinx maybe, because he had it there, and he just absolutely lost it. And the foul is going to be, it's not going to be a shooting foul. Foul was on Wright. And got a little bit of a chest bump right there, and the official was very quick to come in and break that up. We don't want to see a rerun of what we saw yesterday in the contest between Shorter and Lane. And I think enough has been said about that. And checking, well, Ty Parks is going to stay in. Now Union's got the full complement of 5 out on the floor now. Down to 34 seconds. They have to shoot by the time the game clock gets to 12. Big 3. Yes! Tyree Boykin, 3 of 4 from behind the arc. And it's back to a 19-point margin. So Lane's going to play it for a single shot here. And it's Bell. And Union breaks it up. Bell thought he could take that bounce pass and go to the inside. And after the big day he had yesterday, he has been shut down with no score in the first half. And Union's defense was excellent in that last shot offensive possession for Lane. 43-24 as the Bulldogs take a 19-point lead into the locker room, and yesterday they had a big one as they went to the halftime break against Tuskegee. Let me run down your scoring right now and also give you some individual rebound totals, and then we'll go to today's halftime feature. But the scoring is pretty well evenly divided between 7 Bulldogs. You've got 11 for Justin DeBuck, and 3 of them, he's 3 for 3 of 3-pointers. 9 points for Tyree Boykin, and in fact, that last one that came through, that gives him 12 now. So Tyree is actually the game leader with 12, and he is 3 for 4 from behind the arc. And then you got Bo Gidgel with 9. And he has had a big day from the floor, 3 out of 5, and is perfect from the free throw line. So, and in rebounding, the big one is Ty Parks. He's been getting up for some offensive boards as well. Ty Parks has 6 of Union's 17 rebounds. Over for Lane, your leader is Teron Davis with 10. He is 3 for 7 from the floor, but he's knocked down a couple of 3-pointers. And then you got 6 for Justin Silver, and he has been strong from the free throw line, 4 out of 4 on the day. And so that's what your totals look like as far as the individuals. Rebounding, Silver is also the leader for Lane with 5. So that's the way everything looks right here, with Union on top 43-24 as we go to the locker room. But for our special halftime feature today from the university, one of the things that has been so significant in the last, to be candid with you, 25 years on this Union campus has been what have been known as the core values of Union University. And it was actually something that was developed by the previous president, David Dockery, and they have been maintained and carried on in the same fashion by current president Dub Oliver. This feature today is called Union's Core Values, and I think you will see exactly what we mean by that.
The word excellence implies one or more standards of excellence by which to measure. We represent Jesus Christ, and there is no greater standard of excellence. Our approach to excellence has been validated, for example, by the careers of one of our graduates, who, while she was a graduate student at Duke, solved a theoretical physics problem that had gone unsolved for 30 years.
When I onboard new students, I share a story about why I chose Union. I chose Union because excellence matters, and I tell them that when you do all things to glorify Christ, excellence is the expectation. The class of 2020 had a 98% pass rate on the NAPLEX, which ranked us number 1 in the state of Tennessee. Nationally, it gave us a ranking of 8th out of 140 some odd colleges of pharmacy across the U.S.
The debate team has really helped me in all areas of my life, specifically academically. It's helped me to think critically, because I don't get to choose which side of a topic that I get to argue on. And so when I go into my classes, I'm able to look at things from all angles and think critically about it. Being a part of the debate team that did win the national championship was really, really rewarding. Not only did we win the national championship, but we did it for our teammates, we did it for our school, but most importantly, we did it for the glory of God.
At Union, we seek to be Christ-centered in all we do. We don't focus on Christ-centeredness just in the chapel. One of the great opportunities I have in serving at Union is meeting students from all over the world. And one specific student that I think of is J.V. Martinez. And since coming here, I've watched him grow in his walk with Christ, connect to a local church, invest in others, share the gospel with others, and be a godly man. He, in many ways, is a great example of a student that we're hoping to invest in.
I'm J.V. Martinez. I'm a senior from Tampa, Florida. I'm studying business management. So coming to Union, I'd never actually had a Christ-centered life modeled for me. It's the genuine heart of Union, and I think it permeates from every level, from the top all the way to the bottom, including the students. It really changed my life and what it looked like to be a follower of Christ. It's no longer I, it's Christ who lives in me, and that's not something that just happens at church, but it's something that happens throughout all of my life.
And the Office of University Ministries here at Union, we seek to help students take their next step in their walk with Christ. And we do that through chapel, discipleship groups, mission trips that we call Go Trips, service opportunities. And one of the things we understand is that every student, every faculty member, every staff member has a next step to take in their walk with Christ. And we want to come alongside of students to do that, to help them grow, to help them connect to a local church, to know God's word, and to serve and to advance God's kingdom all over the world.
This commitment to being people-focused exists all through the university, and serving as faculty in residence has given me the opportunity to see that.
Union is very intentional, not just for academics, but also in establishing those meaningful relationships.
When Union created the faculty and residence position, one of the things that was emphasized was to create more of a living and learning environment. Wonderful discussions of an academic nature, over wonderful food and a more relaxed environment, but they also get a chance to see to what degree do faculty members walk our talk.
I had a student that's a member of the Common Table group, and she just came by to visit with me one day.
The students have just been great in terms of the way in which they have chosen to love us. As faculty and staff, we understand what we need to do to make the community a distinctive Christian university community. But it's heartwarming to see students who not only appreciate that, but contribute to it being just that.
We are very excited about the donation that the McAfee family has made for a new building on the Great Lawn. One of the benefits that I see from the new building is that we will be able to recruit at a higher level. This new building is going to be state-of-the-art. It's going to house engineering and computer science as well as the McAfee School of Business, where there'll be great synergy amongst all of our majors.
Interacting with other disciplines, the business world, computer science, sciences in general, is essential for the development of new leading-edge technologies. In engineering, we use and develop technology in order to improve the world around us. We want to help the people around us through the technology and the projects that we develop. And it's exciting to watch our students do so successfully.
We can't wait to embrace all that the Lord has for us in the future. Each of these core values, excellence-driven, Christ-centered, people-focused, and future-directed, indeed are part of Union's DNA. They're who we are. And the reality is that all the core values in the world, you could print them on everything and put them on every building, but if we don't live them out, they don't amount to anything. And so at Union, we want these core values to be how we're fulfilling our mission to the glory of God and for the good of all people.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that view of Union University and its four primary core values: Christ-centered, excellence-driven, people-focused, and future-directed. And this place has nobody that could be any better about directing its future than Dr. Dub Oliver. And one of the people that you saw in that halftime feature was a terrific friend of mine, Frank Anderson, who is the leader of the Center for Racial Reconciliation here on the Union campus, and he's such an immense mentor and just beloved by the students who have him in class here at Union University. And I only have one other question to say. With some of those people that I saw in that piece there, did I look that young in 1993 when I started teaching here? I wonder. Well, it's time now, with about 5.5 minutes before the second half. Let's take a look at your halftime statistics, brought to you again by Worthy Road Studios, the symbol of excellence of broadcast production in West Tennessee, and led by Paul Schultze. And now, let's show you what the stats are. And you can see how Union's shooting again, as it was last Saturday in the exhibition, as it was yesterday against Tuskegee. First half has just been all over the place. 56% from the floor, and the same thing in three-pointers. 9 out of 16 from behind the arc. And Justin DeBuck and Tyree Boykin each have 3 three-pointers. Free throws. Bulldogs a perfect 4 out of 4, and Lane 7 out of 9 for 78%. In rebounding, Union with the edge, 18-14. And part of the reason that there aren't any more rebounds in the contest is because Union has done such a good job of hitting from the field. And in turnovers, Union's given it up 7 times, a couple of really unforced errors, 6 on the part of Lane. And then as far as capitalizing on the opponent's mistakes, Union has picked up 9 points off of Lane turnovers. timeout right here because he caught one right in the eyelid. And, yeah, I can see how he's favoring that left eye. And so he may have to come out of here for at least just a short bit. If you stop it for an injury, you got to come out until there's another break. At least that is what we interpret the rule as being. But JC's coming over to get some attention. So, and Dave's going to see. He's talking to the trainer over here. And so they got to get a fifth player into the game. And Dave's having a discussion with the official about that. JC can't go back in at this stage, though, because he's got a pretty serious red eye down here. And I'm looking at him. He's out of camera range. He's right below us. I think Dave really wondered why a foul was not called in that case. It's an unusual situation, but the official didn't see the actual contact being made. So we're down to 8 on the shot clock. Bulldogs are going to have to hurry with this one. Long bomb. No. Tell you what, though, Boykin had the range on it. But after they had to interrupt things, it just interrupted the flow and the tempo for the Bulldogs. There's a three. Yep. Right through the heart for Wright. So Chancellor Wright, who's from Atlanta, Georgia, connects with his first three of the contest. Lane would like to pile up a few more of those, but 3 out of 10 for 30%. In and out on that layup, and he was absolutely robbed. Lane picking up the tempo again and taking it all the way down for the layup. Teron Davis with 12, and Lane has quickly closed it down to 14 points, and you got a little collision there, and the foul is going to be charged to Lane. I think it's going to be on Wright. Not a shooting foul, so Union, and they got to get out there and do a little curling activity to get the moisture off the floor. Driving the baseline and just completely leaving his defender. That's the physical presence of Bo Gidgel. So Union with its first basket of the half and taking it all the way down and missing the left-hand layup, but a nice follow for Silver. Silver with 9 now, and Union back to the 14-point lead. Bulldogs have led by as many as 20. And the foul is charged to Wright. That is his second. So Union will play it over here in the lower corner of your screen. I tell you, this Gidgel's physical presence in this Union team has just been extraordinarily impressive. He's got a true presence from the free throw line. Union hasn't had to go to the line much. Terrific bounce pass on the inside and the foul. Boykin with 14. I have said many times that the bounce pass is almost a dinosaur in college basketball because defenses have done so much to clog up the inside game in the paint, but that was absolutely perfect. It has to be timed perfectly for that to work, and it looks as though somebody was in the lane too quick. So give it back to Lane. But for a bounce pass to be effective and to open a door for a basket like you just saw, the timing has to be absolutely perfect because you just got too many defenders that are there in the paint too often. Open for the three. Short. And Vic comes down with a rebound. That's his 6th. From the corner. Iron unkind. Here goes Lane on the transition. And almost losing it. And indeed, Wright did lose it, but let's see if it goes off of Lane or Union. And taking a spill is Hunter Vick, who will go after any ball that there is. We heard his sister, Jordan, talk about last night during the volleyball telecast about how she has had such an athletic family. Her brother Garrett is also on the Bulldog team. He got in the game yesterday at the tail end, and she says that what her brothers have done just made her work even harder as a volleyball player to try to match their athletic talent. And she was terrific last night. The floater well short by Boykin. So Lanes tried to pick up the tempo, and Bell loses it. Littlepage lost it right back, and I think he may be charged with the foul. And that's one of those frustration situations. It is Littlepage got the steal, and then when it was stolen back trying to retrieve it, he committed the foul. So Jeremiah commits his first. And let's see how they play it. It's still a 16-point margin. Union was up by 14 at the half. In the middle of the paint. The floater is there. Perfect timing by Wright on that jumper. Now, Lane's playing a pretty strong man-to-man defense. And, well, I don't think it was intended for that pass to go to Coach Dave Niven, and Lane will play it. The timing on that pass was just ill-advised, shall we say. Dave was not open for a three. Somehow I don't think Dave was too impressed with the fact that that pass was right in his hands. There's a big bomb. Short. High for the rebound is Boykin. In Parks, excuse me. Quick passing from the corner. Vick, the three. That is Hunter's second of the game. He's got 6. He had 17 in the first half of last Saturday's 83-76 exhibition win over Bethel. And we have a media timeout. And one of the things that we talked about with Coach Dave Niven earlier was the fact that this ball club has as many as 10 people that he would feel comfortable starting at any given night. And here's what he had to say to embellish about that.
Tyree, another guy that has been a prolific scorer. You never know when he's going to get hot and get going. Feel like Bo Gidgel didn't have his best shooting night on Saturday, but I feel like he's another guy that gives us an added dimension in the post. To get some baskets, and then we've got a bunch of guys, whether starters or coming off the bench, that can really score. And I think you'll see throughout the season, every night it could be something different for our team.
And you can see Dave Niven in the huddle right now trying to settle down what has been a few defensive lapses on the part of the Bulldogs, because even though they're up 17, the one thing that he does not want to see is that they get off the pedal. And Dave is always coaching on the inside. I'll say again, one of the finest defensive coaches in all of Division II. He preaches it. Of course, he's got a tremendous set of offensive weapons. There you go, those young ladies. And they called home, and their mom said they were not going to send them any money before they came home for Thanksgiving. I think that's bad. Maybe Mom will reconsider. It's going to be a saga that we continue all throughout the rest of the season as to whether those young ladies get a little extra cash from home. And that's that double step, and it just did not fall for Silver. He's 2 for 7 from the floor. He's had a hard time on the inside. And Vick thought about the three, and he was picked up very, very quickly. Smart not to go ahead and let go of it. And right through everybody, it just does not fall. But look at Boykin. Parks tried to save that. Going for the bomb. Yes! What a play by Boykin. And you got to credit that one to Ty Parks for, after missing that, flying over and saving that ball from going up in the stands. matching Union's largest lead at 20. And the Bulldogs still shooting 56% from behind the arc, and that three does not go, and the rebound coming off to DeBuck. Wide open, yes, sir. Little Page with his first one of the game. Bulldogs are breaking this one wide open, 55-33. Lane has not been able to find an answer, and Coach Turner calls timeout. So here we go, Union on top, 55-33, and we'll be back right after we scoot for the loot.
A Christian college or starting the college search process, I want to take a second to tell you about my school, Union University in Jackson, Tennessee. Union is a private 4-year university known for its rigorous academics, Christ-centered community, and the success of its graduates. My favorite part about Union is the faculty. The professors here are so intentional about helping students grow not only academically, but also spiritually. You should check out Union for yourself. Come for a visit. I know you'll love it. At Union University, you'll be transformed.
And we're back. Bulldogs just with an explosion. It was 47-33, and all of a sudden they've got 8 in a row, 2 threes and an exclamation point dunk. Boykin is the leader now with 14 points. DeBuck and Gidgel with 11 each. In the rebounding category, Parks is on top with 7. Hunter Vick has picked up 5. For Lane, the leader is Teron Davis with 12. He's 4 of 9 from the floor, and Silver has picked up 9. But Union is still shooting at a hot clip of 56% from the floor, 58% in three-pointers, and Lane, they've held them to 31% from the floor. So it has been a dominant performance by the Bulldogs in this first 26 minutes. And as he was going to his right, Davis was fouled. That is the third team foul on the Bulldogs in this half. And I believe we might have lost a contact here. That used to happen to Marquita Hunt when she was a Lady Bulldog. Marquita, of course, is with Manpower of Jackson now. But Marquita, when she was a Lady Bulldog, I frankly told her at one point that I thought that it was intentional on her part to have the game stopped so she could get camera time looking for her missing contact, because Marquita liked to be in front of the camera. And if she's watching today, she's going to kill me for that. Driving in is Davis. 14 points and the foul. DeBuck commits his second. So a chance for a three-point play as J.C. Hawkins checks back in to replace DeBuck. So Davis will go to the line to attempt to close it to 19 and attempt to add to his totals, as he would have 15 if he connects on this one. In and out. High for that rebound again was Parks. That's 9 boards today for Ty. And Bulldogs again just working their pattern tempo around the perimeter. And the corner for the three. Just off the mark, but rebounding is Little Page, and he is creamed. Jeremiah's, he's a big guy, but he's not that, he doesn't carry that much weight. He only goes at 190 pounds. But he is really trying to go for every rebound in this contest. And I mentioned to the fact that right before we started the telecast today, I met his mom, and she was just so delightful in the fact that she just wants the best for her son. Unfortunately, Jeremiah lost his dad before last season, and it was a very tough time for him in his life because he suddenly found himself as the man of the house. And so it's been a difficult ordeal, but it's been a terrific thing for him to be part of this unit at Union, as J.C. Hawkins with his second 3 of the day. And so far, 8 Bulldogs have scored in the contest. That's what it was yesterday. Jumper is short. And picking it up in the corner is Boykin. And Union again dominating. The jumper for the 3. No. Iron unkind. And the rebound coming off to Horton. They're trying to beat the Bulldogs back down the floor, and he thought better of going in for that drive. Union quickly picking up with a double team on defense. Lane spreads them out again. Union staying pretty much in a man-to-man. Almost lost it. Only 6 on the shot clock. They're going to have to hurry. He's doing a lot of fakes, and he had to just desperately throw that one up, and that's a 30-second clock violation. That's one of the things. When that clock is down below 5 points, you can't do 3 head fakes. You got to at least dish it off, or you've got to be able to get that ball in, at least give it a solid effort, and that was just a case of he'll learn from that situation. So for Lane, that is turnover number 7. And it's been a very comfortable outing so far for Dave Niven's Bulldogs, all the way down the line, and Parks is fouled. Ty has been just terrific in other areas of the game. He's got 3 assists as well as 8 rebounds, and right now we have got a media timeout, and so here we go. Dave Niven, who we visited with before today's game, he talked to a lot of us about the fact that depth was so important on this ball club, and particularly preparing them how to play both Friday and Saturday back-to-back as they will during tournament time.
Yeah, we do feel like we have a lot of depth. It'll be important playing Friday and Saturday back-to-back games. It's not something you see a lot in the year. We'll have it back-to-back weekends. We'll have some Friday, Saturday games. And then won't see it again until postseason. When you get in the conference tournament, if you can make it to the semifinals and finals, you'll play back to back, and then in the NCAA tournament, you'll play back to back. And so, I think depth certainly helps in those situations. We feel like we are blessed to have a bunch of guys that can play and do different things. And so, as you go throughout the season, you deal with injuries, you deal with sickness, you deal with all kinds of things that come up, and the deeper teams are able to handle those things well. So.
I really appreciate Dave Niven's insights into his team and to the game. We're going to be talking more to him about the game itself and the different aspects of it that I think will be so enlightening for so many of you during the course of this season. And we hope to be talking to some of the individual Bulldogs, including perhaps this one right here at the free throw line, Ty Parks. Notice how it's like a Morgan here now when they go to the line to shoot free throws. Ty connects on it. He's got 4 in the game today, and Ty is from Pocahontas, Tennessee. He went to Middleton High School. He's one of these that goes 6'4", but he weighs about 10 pounds less than I do. Enough said. Bulldogs by 24. Here you got a battle of the 35s. And the fall away. That's just too short. He was not getting his good look at the basket when he released the ball. From the corner, they thought about the 3, but instead, it might have been one too many passes. Going for the bomb. No, it's short, but the tip-in is there. Jordovich with the tip. And as one of my old mentors, Coach Paul Leroy, used to tell his teams, he said, if you could get 6 to 8 points on tip-ins in games, if you're a good team, that will probably be the difference in the game, and that was perfect. And again, desperation bank, but it's there, and the foul for Logan. Joseph Logan from Huntsville, Alabama, a junior, and that was one of those that trying to put that one up one-handed and falling away to his left, it just had to be a matter of luck that he got that bank off the back of the square and goes to the line for a three-pointer. That's the fourth team foul on the Bulldogs. Lane has committed 5. We'll be running over our usual 6 o'clock end time on the game, but have no fear. We're going to be right here all the way through. As we mentioned, this game was about 30 minutes late getting started because of the length of the Tuskegee and Shorter game right before us, in which Tuskegee defeated the Gulf South Conference contender Shorter Hawks. Tipped away. It'll go back to Union with 8 on the shot clock. This is where, as Dave Niven has talked about, a lot of times they will practice in between games in situations like this where they've got to throw it in bounds and there's only, say, 7-8 seconds left. Okay, what do? How do you set up your offense in that case? That one was just simply not intended to be, and it's going to be an over-the-fact violation. That was not one for your highlight reel to show your kids. One of the few times the Bulldogs have just had not a real good set coming out of an interruption in the regular turn of events. And Jordovic went up for it, and he was fouled. Not a shooting foul. That's the 6th team foul. Bulldogs still at a just crisp shooting pace across the board this afternoon. And this has been a hallmark today. They are at 56% in field goals and 58% in three-pointers. And again, they work it around the perimeter and inside, and physically you are not going to stop Gidgel. And he goes over and helps his opponent Bell up. Great sportsmanship that you saw there. Not any of the stuff that we had yesterday in the Lane against Shorter game that unfortunately had one of the more uglier sides to college basketball. Now listen at this place. I'm going to be quiet. Listen at it. I mean, you would think that somebody was about to light a candle in here. It was so quiet during that free throw. Gidgel sinks it through again, 63-37. And Union going back to a bit of a half-court trap despite this lead. Lane bringing it back, trying to set up the offense again with Stubblefield. They have done a brilliant job of shutting off Maximilian Bell after his 26-point performance yesterday. And Bulldogs, again, another stop. Dave says go for the turkey, at least 3 stops in a row. That one was short, but Union with the offensive board, going for the bomb again. No, off to the right. It's Lane ball with 9.5 minutes remaining. And here we go. In all kinds of trouble is Bell. They were double teaming him right at the midcourt line. Bulldog bench chanting defense once again. And that was Bell trying to get a floater up with a little bit of a hook, and it just didn't go. The kickoff, and is it going to be an offensive foul? Yep, that was a case of just simply not being able to stop his momentum. So Union coughs it up. It would have probably led to a layup there, but he just was, and that was great position on the part of the Dragons. And they got to get that special mop to get up. You got to have a logo on everything now, and so you got a logo on this Union mop to be able to get all of the moisture up. I had a wonderful time last night meeting a lot of the parents of the Union Lady Bulldogs volleyball players, and they have just been so encouraging to me during my first ever season of calling volleyball. But it was great to meet those parents and to understand why so many of those young ladies have had an extraordinary influence on the part of their moms and dads across the board, and they've told us that in some of the interviews we did during the season. That is the 16th foul on Union, but it was in the act of shooting. And he gets the first one. Stubblefield, again, he had some good minutes in the game yesterday. Georgia on top of Tennessee, 34-10. Some of you probably have that on another monitor if you're watching this one. And that one was an ill-advised pass that was just completely out of the range of Vick. And here comes Lane again on the attack. Working the corner. And they're going to bring it back outside with 16 on the shot clock. Stubblefield just couldn't find anywhere to go, and he's working one-on-one against Hawkins. Big three is off the mark, and Hawkins the rebound. JC with his second board of the afternoon. There you go. Vick with his third three of the game, and give him 9, and Union is back up by 27, 66-39. Yesterday it was 68-49 over Tuskegee. But this Lane team has some impressive talents on it, and I think that given an opportunity for them to gel during the season, they're going to give some people some fits. And they've just had a difficult time against this tough Union defense. And the foul going to the deck is Davis. Now the question is it a 2 or a 3-pointer? And we have a media timeout. And so Union with the lead 66-39. It's time for us to take a break. So let us scoot for the loot.
A Christian college or starting the college search process, I want to take a second to tell you about my school, Union University in Jackson, Tennessee. Union is a private 4-year university known for its rigorous academics, Christ-centered community, and the success of its graduates. My favorite part about Union is the faculty. The professors here are so intentional about helping students grow not only academically, but also spiritually. You should check out Union for yourself. Come for a visit. I know you'll love it. At Union University, you'll be transformed.
After falling behind 20 in the first half, Lane managed to ease the lead. They had a 10-1 run and eased the lead down to 11, and then the Bulldogs, they began to edge it back out at the end of the first half for a 43-24 lead, and so they have pretty much controlled this from the outset. And in this second half, they've outscored Lane 26-15. Union shooting percentage, 50% from the floor, 22 of 44, and they've cooled off a little bit from threes, 11 out of 25 for 44%. Lane, 31% from the floor, same percentage from behind the arc, 4 out of 13. And rebounding, Union a huge edge, 34-21. And the cheerleaders dash off after their routine with the Hey song. In case you ever wondered, that is the official title of that song. It is called The Hey Song. And the only lyrics on it are just when you say, hey. That was one of the most ingenuous lyrics, some of the most ingenuous lyrics that have ever been written for a song. And whoever did write that has made a mint off the royalties, just on pep band performances around the country. Right through the middle is Davis. He has been really what has been the offense for Lane today. He's done a little of everything. That gives him, he misses the second one, but he's got 15 points. And 2 out of 3 from behind the arc. And He's just done a little bit of everything to keep this team at least respectable during the contest. Union very, very crisp passing. Down to 10. Lane coming up to challenge, and the fall away. Jordovic did not get it, and finally gets the tip. That's his second tip in of the game. He's making my old mentor, Coach Paul Leroy, be clairvoyant. As I said earlier, Coach Leroy says you get about 8 points off tip-ins in most games, you're going to probably win unless you're just a lousy team and all you do is get tip-ins. Getting close to the 7-minute mark. Going into the paint. One-hand floater is not there, and the rebound coming off to J.C. Clossy. Bulldogs on the bicycle. And right between the defenders, and yes! They give him the momentum on that, and so it's there and the foul, and terrific job by Jordovic. And actually, he's the one who set it up. It's Hunter Vick who took it all the way in, and so he draws the foul. Does not get the three-point play. Rebound coming off to Logan. Union has picked up 11 points off of lane turnovers in this game. That's one thing that they wipe it off and says it's not a basket. Foul is charged to Gidgel. That is his third. When you're up by 30 in a case like this, what Dave Niven's not looking for you to just blast it out. What he wants to do is to be sure that you don't take your foot off the pedal, because you in particular, you're going to be in situations during the course of the season where maybe you've got a 15, 17, 18-point lead, and in college basketball, you can fritter those away very, very quickly if all of a sudden you lose control of your offensive presence and your defensive pressure. So he's not going to want to see them just completely, as some people might say, let Lane get back into the game. He wants them to continue to play their contest. That one's short. High up for the rebound is Jordovic. And that's the way you get it across in that kind of pressure, is spread them out. Jordovic is absolutely fearless about taking it inside. Jumper is there. DeBuck with 13. And Union up 72-41. On the inside, going up with a left-hand layup, Davis, and he is challenging the basket. It's just that Lane has not been able to take it and attack the basket as it did against the Shorter team yesterday. That one could have gone either way, and Shorter finally gained control in overtime, 93-89 against Lane. So this is going to be their second straight defeat of this very young season. And getting the friendly roll is Davis. Teron, the senior from Memphis. And he hopes to have a solid senior year on the part of these Lane College Dragons. And there again, they're staying with their defense, that all-court pressure that they're employing. Almost tossed away, but Union saves it. And the foul is going to be in frustration on the part of Wright. But that bump, the official said, that's the foul. And Union will go to the line for the 1-and-1. Union's committed 9 fouls, Lane 8, so we are in the 1-and-1 bonus. One of the reasons that I would like to see men's basketball adopt the same rules as the Olympics and as women's basketball does is to go to quarters, because you get at this part of the ball game and they reset when you go to quarters. It's 5 fouls before you go to the free throw line, and they don't do any 1-and-1s anymore. The game speeds up. And I would love to be able to see them get into a situation where they play by quarters and follow the same rules, because the 1-and-1s drag the game down, And then particularly when you get to the 10 fouls and it's always a 2-shot opportunity, do something that we can do to speed the game up and maybe also eliminate some of the unwatchable foul fests that we see at the end of college basketball games, at least in men's college basketball. It also is more exciting in women's ball now that if you're under 2 minutes to go in the game, and here you go with a wide open three. Yep. Not a doubt in my mind that Parks would connect. That's his second three-pointer. The other aspect of it is that I like the rule where if there's under 2 minutes in the game and you get a rebound and you call timeout, you get the ball down at your end of the floor. It makes the game more exciting. It gives you an opportunity not to have to walk the ball all the way up from underneath your own goal. I think that change several years ago when women's basketball went to the quarters was one of the best things that happened to college basketball. I hope the men's game will adopt it, but I'm told that there are many coaches at the Division I level that are just too traditionalist and don't want to do it. But that's my editorial comment. I hope it does happen eventually in men's basketball, but it takes a vote of the coaches and the NCAA Rules Committee for that to change. Silver at the line. Connects on both of them. He has 11. He's the second one to get into double figures for the Dragons. And Union quickly getting away from that half-court pressure. We'll have one more media timeout in this. We're a little bit past 6 o'clock, but this game started early. The three with a little left-handed push on it from Ty Parks. Give him 11. 79-43. 79-45. It has been just a thoroughly dominant performance by the Union Bulldogs. And the only question mark that you have now is what the final will be. Again, another three off the mark. Lane is 4 out of 15. Trying to go through everybody, and the floater, no. But the rebound, putting it right back up, is Gidgel. And timeout is called. 4 minutes and, well, let's see. The clock ticked off again. 4 minutes and 1 second remaining. So, as we take a break, let's give you an opportunity to see a message of interest, especially for you.
Be an employee equipped for advancement. Be a role model to your kids, your coworkers, your friends. Be a dreamer, an example, a finisher. Be a success story and a college graduate with an associate or bachelor's degree for adult students from Union University. At Union University, be transformed.
Back we are. It has been a dominant Union performance, and at Neyland Stadium, unfortunately for my colleague Gary Neese, it has been a dominant performance by the Georgia Bulldogs. 41-10. They lead Tennessee late in the contest as darkness is, for about the last hour, surrounded Neyland Stadium. And I got to tell you, though, the Vols are going to be big contenders. Josh Heupel, I think, has already proven that he is going to be an outstanding coach, particularly with the offensive game for the Vols. And just be sure to put it in the book. There will be a year probably in the next couple. It probably won't happen next year, but in at least the next couple, you may be able to say Tennessee's back. But it just hasn't happened today because Georgia apparently is just too strong for almost everybody. And that being my alma mater, it doesn't make me unhappy. And Union has got a lot of its younger players in the game. The tip-in underneath goes through. And we'll try to tell you who some of these guys are who are in here now. Garrett Vick is in the game now. That's Hunter's younger brother. He's number 32 out here. And also you've got Caleb Pierce. He's in number 15. And the dish off underneath, just a little bit too much, trying to get it to J.C. Clausey, and so Lane will take over with 3:17 remaining. But it's great to get some game experience out here for these young guys. And let's see how Coach Turner plays it. They'd love to at least be able to get to 50 in this contest. Also in for Union now, you've got... And I'm trying to look at everybody who has made it into the game. You got Garrett Vick, Jay Hardison. He is a sophomore from Lewisburg, Kentucky. Garrett Vick, of course, is from Camden, Tennessee, just up the road. And at the line, and I have to tell you, we don't have a roster. Yeah, now we do. Now we picked it up. Robert Green, he's a 6'3 freshman from Memphis, as Coach Turner has put in some of his reserves as well. And they connect on those to make it 81-49. But usually, particularly with the student section here, when these younger guys come in, and they've got a lot of their friends who show up hoping they'll get into the game, a big roar goes up when they score. Trying to drive the baseline, taking it through, yes! Jay Hardison, and I told you they would be up whenever he connected, and so is the bench. And Union with a steal, he's going to be wide open again. Hardison, down the stretch he goes. This place has come alive like they didn't when the starters were in here. 85-49. I always loved that. The long fall away is not there for Stubblefield, and Union again with a rebound. I always loved when it was Brady Shepard from the corner, going for the three, no! Brady Shepard would get in late in a game, and his parents told me that he was known as the closer, which was a popular dramatic show at that point in time when Brady was playing. And trying to find room, but they've just had very little success from the inside, and he had to force that one. And Union playing excellent defense again with these younger guys, trying to take it all the way home. The layup is there. Clausey, he gets two, and so Union has now got 9 players who have scored, and back down the floor the rally. And picking it back up on the other side is Horton. And so we're going to keep it right here with it 87-51, and fans are beginning to gradually file out of Fred DeLay, knowing that if they're Union fans, they know that this one is well in hand and frankly has been since early in the second half. And these guys have just really enjoyed this weekend here on this floor after an easy win over Tuskegee yesterday, and they have pretty well handled Lane College across the board. But as I told you, this Lane team, if they have an opportunity, and that one just simply trying a bounce pass and nobody made a cut, this Lane team, I think, if they get an opportunity to gel, they will have some things to say about what goes on in the SIAC race this year. This is Green. And he's double-teamed, but they go into the inside and backdoor basket and foul on Simmons. So going to the line for the opportunity for a three-point play is Haywood. He was one of the starters today. It's been a tough afternoon for him, but he connects on the three-point play to give him 8. 87-54, and we are in the final minute of this one. And remember, we'll be back here Tuesday night when the men take on Williams Baptist. The three was almost there for Hardison again, and it just was an iron unkind shot. And they basically gave a free ticket to Horton, and he couldn't connect. Bulldogs are going to have to at least put up a shot here. It's going to be a one-on-one situation, and it is a defensive foul. So going to the line is going to be Garrett Vick. His brother, Hunter, has 11 in the game, so for the family Vick, he could at least add to that total. And I don't know if their sister, Jordan, is in the stands right now, but he gets a big hand because, you know, they just love to see these young guys come off the bench at the end of a game. And so help me, Garrett looks like he's 15 years old, but he connects 89-54. And this may be the last possession of the game. And we'll wrap it up very, very quickly whenever they skate out the rest of this game time. And there's a scramble for it, and it's going to be, and let's see what they call the alternate possession, I think is going to go to Lane. With 15 seconds remaining and 14 on the shot clock, unless there's a steal, I would be very surprised if the Bulldogs will get the ball back. And they tried, and it was too high, so the Bulldogs will get the ball back, but trust me, they're not going to put up one here with 10 seconds remaining, and it's going to be a 35-point victory for the Union Bulldogs and a thoroughly dominant Saturday afternoon for them to run their record to 2-0 on the season. And that does wind it up. Lane College is 0-2. They went to overtime yesterday and lost by 4 to Shorter. And Shorter in our preliminary game today lost to Tuskegee. So Bulldogs 2-0, and they'll be back here at Fred DeLay Tuesday night at 7 o'clock against William Baptist, and we'll have the game for you on E-Plus TV6 and on streaming on uuathletics.com. Let me wrap up the scoring very quickly, and then we'll take it home. For Lane College, it was 18 points for Teron Davis. He had, you cannot say enough about what this young man did, even though his team lost by 35. He was doing everything he could offensively and defensively on the floor. And then 11 points for Justin Silver. For Union, it was a huge day across the board. And for the Bulldogs, they had 5 in double figures, and 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 different Bulldogs scored today. And that's also something that I know Dave Niven is happy about. Their leader, 17 points for Tyree Boykin, and 15 for Bo Gidgel, whose game is just amping up more and more. 14 points for Justin DeBuck, and he had 3 3-pointers during the contest. And 11 points each for Hunter Vick, who also had 3 3-pointers, and for Ty Parks. He also had 3 3-pointers. In fact, Union knocked down 14 threes in the game. They had more 3-pointers than they did free throws, 47% from behind the arc and 54% from the field. And so our player of the game today, I think you got to look across the board at how much he did to really be the catalyst for this team, and also looking at what he did rebounding and otherwise. And so we're going to give the player of the game to Bo Gidgel. 15 points and perfect from the free throw line, 5 for 5, and 6 rebounds as well. A solid performance, and you could also make a great case for Tyree Boykin for that. But we're going to give it to Gidgel this time, and Tyree will have his opportunities as the Bulldogs won at 89-54. So we invite all of you to be back with us here at Fred DeLay Gymnasium Tuesday night. 6:45 will be our airtime on E-Plus TV6 as the Bulldogs take on Williams Baptist from over in Arkansas. And if you can, be out here in person. We would love to have you with us. And I invite all of you in Jackson to stay tuned to TV6. And at 7 o'clock tonight, it's Steve Beverly's TV Classics as we bring you tonight an evening devoted to Saturday morning television of the past. We'll have Captain Kangaroo. We'll have Winky Dink and You. That one goes back to 1953. We've got My Friend Flicka, Sky King, and an old game show that was done in the 60s called Shenanigans. So enjoy it, because it'll be a wonderful time for us all to be together, and that will be at 7 o'clock right here on E-Plus TV6. So For our terrific crew that has brought you all the pictures and the game directed by Summer Sturgis, and our cameras, Andrew Burris, Corey Moore, and Christopher Reasons, and our ever-cool, ever-present executive producer, Paul Schulze. This is Steve Beverly on behalf of all of us at Worthy Road Studios saying so long from the great hub city of West Tennessee.